not, you're right. You're right. It's like the people who use what my in jazz history class, like stupid classical. It's like they're saying like a lot of those people used heroin, but some of them made some really great music. You know, back in the 20s and 30s. At least they did something out with it. And the same could be said for, I guess, Kurt Cobain or something.
Especially, oh man, I missed him so much.
It's funny how his music, even though like Led Zeppelin, I played it out and like I played it so much that I had to stop. Like I guess it happened with Nirvana too. Always, you know, but it's still like it. It's still like some songs and still like a lot of songs and appreciate it. It ages really well.
Mm-hmm.
And even though, because most of the time, if people overly play stuff and people overly talk about stuff, and everybody's like, "Oh, Nirvana, Kurt Cobain." Most of the time, for me, that I don't know. I guess there are a lot of people that transcend that. A lot of people go beyond that, like notable.
How did Amy Winehouse die? Overdose.
Oh, that yeah.
How did Elvis Presley
die? Yeah.
Overdose. How did Jimi Hendrix die?
Jimi Hendrix, I was just gonna say it.
How did most of the probably the greatest performers of our time die? Michael Jackson.
Morris.
Michael Jackson. How did he die?
Janis Joplin's pretty cool.
Janis Joplin. How many? So, it's not interesting. It's heinous and wrong. It's not amazing, Jamal. It's not amazing. But it's it's sad. It's that these icons, for some weird reason, are able to separate themselves to the point to where everybody's a yes man around them because they have so much money, so much power, so much influence, and nobody, even their immediate family members, from what I'm hearing, they just go, you know what, we're good if you want to just keep taking those drugs. Yeah, we're good if you want to just, keep injecting yourself. We're good. It's good. Thanks for buying me that house. I mean, there's some really, it's sad and it's wrong. And there's got to be a way in the future. So when we start to see somebody, there is one person that I wouldn't really be too, I wouldn't really miss a lot. I mean, this could be bad, but Justin Bieber, I don't know if I'd really have a bad problem with him if he fucking had a problem.
Come on.
That's pretty bad.
Give him
Justin
time.
Bieber overdosed today. He drank.
I don't know enough about him. I don't think I like his music.
He had too many juice boxes. I don't know. He OD'd off juice boxes.
He smoked pot and stuff.
No, I'm just saying.
Give him time.
Yeah, give him time. Okay, so not to go off such a wonderful topic, I wanted to show you something that I keep, because I always get into this every once in a while with people, and The Hill did a really great article in regards to the CPD, and the CPD is what I told you guys. It's what they're called is the just a second. It's the Commission on Presidential Debates. Okay, Commission on Presidential, and they were created. It's a corporation, by the way, and they were created by both parties. And if you look, all of the people that run this are Democrats and Republicans, and they're lobbying people, and they're connected to the wrong people. So, and I hate these fucking pop-ups. Oh my God! I clicked it.
I hate them.
I mean, when you go on The Hill, when you go on, whatever fucking magazine you think you're looking at or something, like Forbes, you can't even get in there. It's you gotta sign in and all this other shit.
I can't even read a Washington Post right now.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. You have to click in. You have to become a member and all this other bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. So let me go to the studio and show you this article. It's real simple. So a third party they have a definite uphill climb. And this guy did a great article about it a while back, I think in last year before, in regards to just Gary Johnson, who was a fucking total joke in my opinion. But it's just clear. It's an uphill battle. Third party candidates face uphill climb to get placed on presidential debate stage. They have an uphill climb no matter what. They're against, like I said, they are up against some serious money. serious influence, serious powers, and for them to get anywhere around or near or through or behind or in front of or on stage with the two-party oligarchy that exists is fucking so tough. But something's going to break through. It has to, and there's the Green Party and other parties, of course, out there, especially the Green Party, they're finding ways to get through that barrier, through that wall, over that Mount Everest climb. I mean, it might take a little more time than usual, or maybe they're poised to do it soon, but they are working on ways to fix that. But what you have to have now is if you have two parties that are currently saying we don't want any, and they don't say it out loud. The Republicans and the Democrats, they don't say it out loud. They don't say there's no fucking way we're letting that little fucking dork inside of this fucking party, into this club, which it is a club. It's a big club, and none of us are invited. But they won't say that out loud. They won't say that, but they do whatever they can to try to keep that from happening. I'm just kind of scrolling through it, but and anybody can read. I'll put the link up in this chat and in the live chat. But yeah, it's a uphill climb, and we're going against some huge major powers out there. But I don't, what else are you going to do to stop the two-party oligarchy? Do you have any ideas? Anybody?
Starve
anybody?
them.
Focus on the
Starve
issue,
them with money.
practical matters at hand, like figuring out good models for doing things better, more efficiently, like some better systems.
No, I'm talking about getting a third party.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm asking. Do you have any ideas on getting a third party into the mix of the two-party oligarchy that it currently exists? Just wondered. Yeah, I'm getting the same answer from everybody else. It's a tough one, man. What do you think, Snork? Do you think there's any way to actually get a third party, at least in a representative seat?
If the kids see it as a means to be around other kids, they will start joining.
Ooh, I like that. I asked the right person. I got the right answer.
Make the guys think the girls are going to be there. Make the girls think the guys are going to be there. Well, don't just make them think. Do it.
I like that.
You bring one,
the brilliance that just kind of. Thank you for that. That's very good. Ben, any ideas to kind of help insert a third party into the system? And I got my ideas, but there's a bunch. So it'll take like another 4 hours for me to.
I think it would be good to focus on what you want to happen, because that's like a way to find some kind of solid ground, is to say, okay, I'd like for vehicles in cities to be, or for there to be more, for like better taxes, and there already are some tax incentives, but like more for people to buy hybrid cars or electric cars, or like more carpool lanes or different. There's a really cool thing nearby where I live, where there's like in between two larger streets, there's a little it seems like, and I eventually was like, why is that there? There's like a little car, like one of those parking lots that are specially designed for carpoolers. And like it's in a neighborhood, and it's in between these two larger freeway, like not freeways, what do you call them, like 4-lane roads, like middle lane, kind of larger streets. And there's like bus stops that the buses only run in the morning for 2 hours, in the evening for 2 or 3 hours. And so they just like, it's just a great place for people who go to work and they want to, they want to carpool. They guys all park in this big parking lot, probably has like 50, 60 spots, 70 spots. And then there's these several buses that come through, and it's kind of filled up every day. And it's a great way for people to get, through this little. It's like one of those buses that doesn't stop elsewhere. Like maybe only a couple of stops, so it's like a quicker. Like things like that are great, and
so good stuff. That's good stuff.
If you're focused on things like that and focused on whatever these things that you want, then hopefully a party will come that along like whether the Democrats want to go back to that, or whether a Green Party wants to like come out and really be for that. But if a lot of people are for things like that and they're well defined, you have certain principal issues, and then you could like let the parties come to you rather than going to the parties or something.
Hey, Eric, I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but you certainly don't look like a Cheryl to me, or our Cheryl, that's for sure. So Bruin said, just letting you guys know, James, give the debates back to the League of Women Voters who are nonpartisan. Sucks I forgot that. But yes, thank you very much, Bruins for Free Speech. That is a great idea, and that should happen. But taking control over what it's already been out there, that's also that's part of the uphill battle for sure.
I'd say just make the debates irrelevant. Realistically, whoever gets the under 30s and the under 40s is going to win. Their turnout is going to be so low for everybody else. You bring that one demographic out, and you've got the election. So if the Green Party were to organize up until March, giving out like headbands to keep your ears warm, let's say Green Party on them. Start making other people see that they're green. Make it visible. Things on it. I'm not going to vote for who I'm forced to vote for again.
Oh,
yeah, I agree with that.
That's a good one.
I agree with that. And if there's more visibility, like, oh, these people, look at all the people out there that are for the Green Party, like, oh, that'll make people feel like it's a more prominent party, or it's.
But I would switch that over in March for spring break, especially spring break, and make sure these T-shirts that say it and visors that say it are in the hands of people, and you will see the election turn in 3 months.
Holy shit! I know where you're going with this. That's brilliant.
Eric,
do you have any ideas to help the Green Party?
There has to be a platform. There has to be a platform. I mean, I guess they already have a platform, but there has to be a platform that also goes with that. There has to be a couple of.
Yeah, that's good. So he's saying you're going after the millennials for sure. Or is that before? Or is that more the Generation X?
I'd go for both.
Yeah, go for both. Yeah.
I mean, especially here, where the Democratic Party has no representation at all in the under 40 group. Even when I go to the district meetings, in the entire district, there's almost nobody under 40.
Whoa. Wow. That's as bad as having 6 players on a girls' basketball team. Yeah, it's just wrong. Jesus Christ.
I would love to go and be a speaker in a college.
I would like to see that.
What would you?
Oh, me too.
Oh, I'd love to see that. I would actually want to tape that, Eric. I would tape it, dude. Watching you and this like PG-13, so you're okay to say the C word, man. That'd be awesome. You'd have people like jumping up and there's cut.
There was a guy
that would actually be pretty funny.
It would be funny.
But I was actually going to say this like as a really good idea for a common grounds. Like if, just try to get like, those people who deny climate change, but think about it as a structural for like jobs, rebuild our infrastructure with green energy.
Yeah.
Like give it like a common grounds. I was like, if you don't believe in climate change, that's fine for those, who don't want to believe it. But bring like a business common ground to it, where you could actually would work. Like
work, like a job. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. It would actually work out.
Yeah.
And people really, really do need to see that. And plus if you bring it up as like, okay, you don't believe in climate change, but you like technology and you want to see technology evolve. Why bring it up in like a business perspective and a technology perspective? I would like to see that happen.
Trump has announced a new tact on climate change. Now it says it's there, but it's good for us. If we can accelerate the global warming, that'll prevent all the people from having problems in the cold weather. I'm not making it up. Sorry.
You're not fucking, and he's not making that shit up, man. Oh my god. Ah! That's real.
He is
That's
funny.
Ben. That's real. This guy really says this shit. This guy who's fucking running our nation right now says stupid shit like this.
Party is with him.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Now, Jamal, that's amazing. Because he always says that's amazing. You know, I fucking tease him about that all the time.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. That is so crazy. It's just fucking nuts.
And then
Yeah.
he says that phrase, fair enough.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's just his way of not getting in hot water with somebody.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, so
That climate change was the only news I saw today.
That's
Wow.
crazy ass news, man.
So I was gonna say, how is Elon Musk's solar panel roof business? That sounds good. Or,
That's actually doing better. I kind of look at that every once in a while. There's a big company called Peterson and Dean. They're really big. I think all over the place now. They're getting bigger. They're all about American products, American workers. You know, at every level, and they're starting to take a look at that. You know, what the fuck are those things called? The roofing, the slats. Each slat connects to another slat that connects to another slat, and it absorbs the. Hey, Snork, have you ever seen that or heard of it before?
Yeah, that's basically the shingles or modules.
The shingles, yeah, the shingles. I meant to say slats. Yeah,
there's like one corner of it. Yeah, I remember seeing it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And Peterson Dean, which is a very big company, that's getting bigger by the minute, is looking into doing that seriously, which I think would just be awesome. But here's the problem, and I put this in a blog a while back. When it comes to solar power, there's one monopoly out there that doesn't want you to get even close to really being free from the grid. Because once you're free from the grid, then that means, you know, San Diego Power and Electric, Edison, whatever your guys' large, you know, electrical company name is out there, then that means they're obsolete. That means so they actually it's by law you cannot be completely free from the grid in certain areas or zoned areas, I think. Yeah. Which is sad. You can be, if you have your own property and you're out in like a rural area, like a little farm or something like that, where it kind of doesn't really have much power out there from the monopolized grids, then you can do your own power. But the thing is once you're on your own power, you can't have the grid as a backup. That's one thing for sure you can't have, which is sad.
One thing that's going on out here is a lot of the windmills are being leased out, and then after they're leased out, they're shut down.
What?
They're not turning. They're paying them not to turn.
Oh shit!
That happened over in our area too.
They're so that you're more dependent on the grid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. Oh, you know what I got? I got to change the view thing. Sorry. Transition. My bad.
Our power company actually has to pay you once you start once you start generating it and you're not using their power, then they have to pay you whatever is saved.
But they can charge you a fee and a monthly rent for the extra meter they make you put on your house.
Not ours.
Okay, here.
Ours don't.
Yeah, that's good, because that's how they're getting around it, is they're making people have these extraordinarily high priced meters, and it wipes out all their savings.
Fuckers.
Are the electric companies doing that?
Yeah.
Because so you have these examples of the electric companies fighting against it or working against those wind energy, like businesses and products or something. But really, we should have government working towards it. Hopefully, ideally.
Well, they're in
helping
cahoots. That's the
subsidize
problem. I'm gonna.
things.
Yeah, sorry, Ben, but that's the problem. Is there are supposed, or the majority of them are of our supposed leaders in the legislators, judiciaries, and executives are in cahoots with these grid companies, and sadly,
They should be looking at the numbers. They should be looking at the numbers and be like, how do we reduce this, and how do we like we're increasing our need of energy per whatever. Or how do we like get it on the decline, like by making whatever, like the LED light bulb replace the incandescent bulb, which is a great move and saving so much energy right now. And there's so many other things I think you could do. They could similarly save a whole bunch of energy, and just like as somebody was saying about or that guy last night, I forgot his name now, saying about the tax or something in the UK. If they find out that it'll do X amount of good, they'll go with it. If you can find out that some product or some system or somewhere you could save, 17% or 27%, be 27% more efficient or 87% more efficient, do it.
Bruins for Free Speech put in chemtrailed artificial drought in Cali while Nestle pumps water out of national forests. I'm trying to figure out what that means. I do know that Nestle has monopolized the aqueducts, or there's reservoirs under the ground through the Mojave, and they've fucked that up. Nestle has. But as far as the chemtrails, that's a cabin talk issue with Claudia, which I'm kind of on the edge on that. I'm tipping on that. Yeah. What do you think?
I used to be until when they just went and did a few lines across the sky. I was like going, okay, those guys are just tin hat wearers.
Right.
But then they started getting more and more, and then more and more and more, and then finally it looks like one huge multiple tic-tac-toe in the sky. And
That's what you should expect.
it would be sunny all 7 days. Then once they did that tic-tac-toe shit in the sky, the next day it was all like gloomy and rainy. And it would be right on it.
Doesn't SeaTac have another aircraft taking off every 30 seconds?
That too. I mean, it's like,
well, everyone that's going up and punching the vapor layer. There's one of the problems they had with the SR-71 was there was this horrible balance between how fast they could go at what altitude and not produce vapor trails. One of the problems we're having with vapor trails right now is there's so much more moisture. Every time you go up a degree of temperature of the air, the amount of water just drastically increases that's held in the air. So a plane goes through and disturbs that and changes the turbulence, makes some areas concentrate. That's why you have the condensate trail. It's not a chemtrail, it's a contrail. It would actually be better for us if it was a chemtrail.
Okay.
I'm not going to say one way or the other because we are not up there getting.
What's important to know is, do you, Rebel, and I didn't know this before, but do you know what a vapor trail, how it's made?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Eric, you know how a vapor trail is made, right? Or if you don't, it's okay. It's.
I'd like to learn more about that.
Yeah. So, Snort, can you, in layman's terms, and it has to do with condensing what he's talking about, just please.
The air back there, or air up at the certain levels, has all kinds of moisture in it, but there's nothing to make the moisture come together. When the plane's turbulence goes by, it mixes it up, and then the exhaust particles get in there, and the water gloms onto the exhaust particles, in forms of droplets, and that's what we're seeing.
The clouds.
Yeah, the clouds.
Yeah.
So in a way, there are chemtrails, but they've been there all along.
Yeah.
If you even pull up an old TV series or movie called 12 O'Clock High, you can see how the same thing occurred with B-17s.
I remember that movie.
Yeah, just look at the altitude they flew. They just made so many chemtrails, and that's the altitude that most of the aircraft are crossing Washington.
Well, ours aren't, the ones in my area aren't the SeaTac they're small
See, that's
aircraft.
just one. You've got Chicago sending people.
No, I mean in my area that I live in, my sky is not SeaTac.
Right, but there's just all kinds of aircraft going. There's a national radar you can actually pull up and see how many planes are in the air crossing your area. You'd be shocked. And what you're doing is above 21,000 feet, they start saying flight level. So flight level 21 is 21,000 feet. So you're going to be looking for anything from flight level 21 up to flight level 49, because everything beyond that's military. And the military has even more problems with contrails. They don't want contrails.
Okay, so there are contrails, but Claudia's saying there's. I can't believe I'm fucking talking about this. But the chemtrails, there's a there's a difference in the way they look. I guess that's what
Yeah, there's so many real things we need to be concerned about.
I know, dude. That's all I have to say. I'm gonna get
for us
off
to
this.
redirect energy to something that isn't
Yeah.
is bad.
Well, I'm not
Yeah,
like pushing it,
absolutely.
but I'm not gonna not think
But
about it.
yeah, you could. Yeah, you got to leave your mind open on things. You never know. Eco.
One of the major sources of pollution we have is water vapor, which is worse than carbon dioxide. And we're building all kinds of heavy levels of carbon or water vapor. And that the contrails are a symptom of it. They're not causing it. It's the other way around. We need to be addressing what is making them so easy to be made. And that's first the global warming, and then the composition of the air. If the air aloft has got extra particles in it, like smoke from coal, Arctic things like that, it also makes it easier for contrails to form. So this is another case of what I call blue booking, where making people argue an unreal situation to hide an even worse real situation.
Huh. Oh, my stream is low output. If we're breaking up, I'm sorry. It's just happening,
It's
guys.
probably my fault. I shouldn't have said blue booking.
Once you said blue booking, the NSA's all over us now, bro. Thanks. Okay, so Bruins for Free Speech is saying this is not vapor trail snork. We are talking about persistent appearances, not contrails, which are not produced by modern high bypass turbofan engines.
No, you could turn the engines off if they were a glider at that altitude. They still make it.
Well, I want to ask about blue booking, but I guess I can't.
We'll say something nice to them right now and then.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas.
Don't bring that term up again. I don't want to get.
Kelly's blue booking.
Yeah, let's talk about Kelly blue booking about cars.
I don't know why we can't talk about it. Anyway.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of that. I used to work for a company.
Kelly's blue book, it's questionable.
That's fucking funny. Okay, are you reading what he's saying, Snark?
Oh no, where was it?
Bruins for Free Speech. What kind of normal aircraft activity produces checkerboard patterns, which then form clouds?
Perfect south and west and perfect east and west tic-tac-toe and 100 of these squares or more. I'm sorry, that's not normal. You cannot ever convince me that's normal.
I don't know.
When I look up at the sky, it's south and north, and I can see about like maybe 100 lines going that way, and then perfect east and west, 100 lines, and then boom, the next day we've got fucked up weather. It stinks. It's not.
The increased number of north and south is probably due to the bears. The bears are a dirty Soviet aircraft.
Oh, I thought you were talking about bears. God, I was gonna
Lions.
go.
You thought you were talking about lions and tigers and bears, but no, he's talking about.
I was gonna
No.
say.
Type of aircraft.
That's funny.
So it's an engine. It has a high speed for a propeller-driven plane. Has a lot of propellers, and just oozes soot particles, which is really good for making water. So we also put up aircraft that ghost them north to south, because since Trump's been in office, the Soviets are constantly flying off of our west coast, north and south. Does that sound feasible?
This has been happening even in an Obama era.
Way back, I used to, well, I am again, but I used to live in Iowa. There's a SAC base here. Until SAC shut down, we couldn't go out without a constant crisscross of contrails in the sky. We were also underneath a aerial refueling center where the planes would be like a parked around Iowa, would just keep flying. They kept a certain number of the bombers with nuclear bombs in the air above us at all the time. If needed to, then they would send them out. So they would constantly have to refuel them. They just go up, refuel, refuel, refuel. And so above Iowa, our weather changed drastically when they shut down SAC. Because for a while we didn't have as many contrails. And then you'll see when you go to Chicago, there's this dimple of contrails where there's no contrails for a while, because the planes are all landing.
Well, I can tell you, no Russian aircraft flies over
No, they don't.
our area.
They fly 20 miles out or 200 miles out. Our aircraft goes them above our airspace. So we have all kinds of electronic warfare aircraft. We have observation aircraft. We have intercept aircraft, all constantly in the air. Well, James was in the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
He's familiar with that kind of
Navy. Oh yeah.
One Russian aircraft would probably invokes, would you say 50 to 20 or 50 to 100 of ours?
Oh yeah.
So if one bear is flying off of the west coast, that alone would account for your contrails. Now we also have them going over Canada that nobody notices those.
No, nobody cares about Canada anyway. So.
Well, like I said, I'm not going to defend one way or the other as being the absolute fact when I'm not up there taking samples and testing it.
The scientists, though, would love to have the contrails. There's a large group that says we should be making H2S contrails.
Is that the acid?
Also,
the sulfuric acid?
Yeah, but it quickly diverts to something else in the atmosphere. There was another one they wanted to use too, a chloride, but I forgot which one. And they, couldn't get it done. So if there was contrails, it would be a good thing.
Well, I wish the contrails, if you're saying that is what it is, I wish they would leave right away like good contrails should normally do.
Well, if you know why they're there, that's scary. We're at a 3 minutes from a war when you see a bunch of crisscross tic-tac. It means that we are preparing to intercept an aircraft with nuclear weapons on it. Because most of the travel off the west coast is north and south for passage, or not north and south, Excuse me, east and west for passengers. If
In
you're
California,
flying to Tokyo from Chicago, you don't go to Hawaii, you go over Alaska. It's only you West Coasters that fly right to.
Oh yeah, and just like Bruin said, how do you explain the CIA director Brennan admitting chemtrails last year on YouTube?
Can I say the word again, James?
Go
so
for
I
it.
was gonna be cheesy, and earlier I didn't get around to it, but I wanted to be cheesy, be like something, and be like like we're disappointing all kinds of people, past and future, if we continue with like such a extraction industry heavy course, and like all the genius, all the inventors, all the those great people throughout time that made everything possible, and then everybody in the future, all that hope, all that whatever, just jeopardizing it with the pollution, which in my opinion is more than just global warming or climate change. I said before, but it's like contamination and toxicity and mismanagement, like lead or plastic or whatever.
But they have people that are willing to do their own research. They're diverting them by making them looking into chemtrails, from looking into serious problems like, what are we doing with all the radionuclides we dumped off the West Coast? That's a real problem.
They're diverting and also discrediting. Right?
Yeah.
When you associate yourself with something that's too radical.
And we have serious salination problems throughout the areas, where some areas are just getting too much salt in the water for the fish, and other areas are getting salt depleted. These are real issues that need to be addressed.
What if we can make a car that runs off of pee?
Well, any car can run off pee.
Yeah,
What?
you can do that.
Just use it to make the electricity, and then you can go. You need a lot of pee to run a car.
Yeah, I don't know if I could pee that much.
I don't know.
It's
a lot of pee though.
I just to start a car,
According to
a gasoline-driven car, to start one with pee. If you made a battery with urine, it'd take like 20 people pissing in a bucket to get enough to start one car.
That's a lot of pee.
What if you mix it with something? Like
we added I was thinking of ascorbic acid. I wasn't the chemist, so it's just one little fun project. An emergency battery for boats in case they couldn't get their engine to restart while they're at sea.
Hey, Steve.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you.
Dude. Oh crap! I forgot to send Steve the link.
But if a whole lot of people, like say a stadium full of people, if their urine was collected and then used to grow algae, you could squeeze oil out of it and make petroleum products from it. Still carbon neutral. That's a good use. So pee can run cars. You can also run trucks and trains.
Hey, Snark, have you ever heard of liquid ammonia? Some guy was telling me that we could get rid of all carbon pollution if we switch to liquid ammonia fuel.
I'd be really frightened of that.
What happened?
Anhydrous ammonia. Liquid anhydrous ammonia.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's real dangerous to work with. But it could be a fuel. A lot of fuels are nasty to work with. When you think about it, gasoline's pretty nasty.
What?
So I mean, I don't want to just shoot it down. But we use a lot of anhydrous ammonia out here, and I don't like to be on the road with that stuff.
That's crazy.
You know, it's
Do you hear that sound? Like a heartbeat. Hear it?
I just think that the solar and wind is just going to be there. And
yeah, if we let it.
Formula, I'll calculate the like lifespan of a solar panel and calculate the materials needed and just show how much better it is for the environment. And then
Well, that's why
the environment, that's how much more tax breaks they should get.
That's why I think that somebody who buys or leases a large wind farm just to shut it down, it should almost be criminal. I mean, we should always be using wind before we use nuclear or coal.
Sounds like a movie. Like there should be like a true story movie about the person that like hacked that and like actually turned it on anyway.
What?
Google Ogle County or DeKalb County, Illinois, windmills leased and shut down.
I mean, there's an opportunity for somebody like be like, no, this is wrong. You have to have this. It sounds like a movie.
Yeah, sometimes
Such a horrible thing.
facts stranger than fiction.
I think that a lot of cultures have that like thing about waste, like wasting. At least like Native American culture and Chinese culture, for sure, are ones that I can think of. I just think a lot of cultures have something about that. Our American culture, within like the Depression era, surviving people that age, I guess.
Hey, Snark, did you ever look into nuclear waste storage protest? The one I'm going to it Saturday in San Onofre. Did you ever get a chance to check that out and what's going on?
I remember looking, but I forgot about it.
No worries. Just like I forgot to send the link to Steve earlier today. Sorry, bro. But we're here. So anyway, and thanks for coming on again, brother. Okay, so
Mainly
yes.
The big question to ask is, if you're disposing of it, how are you going to contain it in each of the phases of its decay chain?
Sounds dangerous.
Because every time that each step that it decays, nuclear waste, turns into something else. And it can go from being a gas to a solid to a liquid.
Right.
In any of the phases. So if you have a bucket, it'll contain a liquid or a solid, but not a gas. If you have a solid, like a bucket that's enclosed, and you go from a solid or a liquid to a vapor, you have this incredible increase in pressure. It wants to leak, wants to break.
Right.
So changing from the phases of matter is usually not accounted for in most plans for the nuclear, because they didn't think of that in the 1950s when the laws were written.
Yeah, I don't know the details, but if you get a chance, the biggest thing that I think I want to bring up when I go out there is what the largest danger is. What is the most fiercest and immediate thing that we need to know about for the community? Because I surf out there. I've been surfing out there since I was a kid. Great waves, by the way. And it's right on the coast, and I don't know if that stuff's going to leak or how it's, it was like another Fukushima waiting to happen. Or
some exposures can take 20 years before it develops to a cancer that people notice.
Right. Because I surf out there. I've been. Hey, Sir Chad, what's up, buddy?
I mean, it's pretty cool that Elon Musk got that battery ready for like Australia. I forgot what it was. Something about Southern Australia.
Oh, no, that was Elon Musk did that one. I did a gig where you sign up, they hire engineers and scientists, and you solve some problem, and then each get a bit of money for solving the problem. Then they patent it. You don't even get your name on the patent. And we did an emergency battery for boats.
For who?
For boats.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Because if your main battery goes out, there's not a lot of ways to get a jump or push start your car, or I mean a boat.
Right. Jeez.
So they keep these extra batteries around. They're called secondary batteries. And a secondary battery is only loaded when it's necessary. It's basically an emergency battery. But it was fun.
Yeah,
We did one that would run on orange juice, and one that ran on urine, and one that ran on seawater.
Well, shit happens.
Whoa.
And then
seawater was the weakest one.
Obviously, nobody has
So
the fucking balls
basically,
to ask the big questions.
by adding citric acid, you got a lot stronger battery than seawater.
Add citrus acid to the seawater?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Is citrus acid like? Would it have to? Where would it be sourced? It would just be from orange juice. I mean, like
we were looking for an environmentally safe alternative to having a lead acid battery, and the electrolyte kept there. By using the seawater as the electrolyte and using a powder that was safe for people to have touch, actually put their hands in.
Wow.
And then the battery itself didn't have any lead and had a self-destruct. So after they used it, it was a one-time use battery. So after they used it, they'd pull a tab on it, throw it over into the ocean, and it would turn into a big fizzy and self-destruct and turn into fish violence.
Nice.
Nice.
So we were trying to we came up with an environmentally sound alternative for batteries. And the only problem is, you can't just hop in a car with a big gulp with it. That would be ultimate. Just a second, I gotta get some pop. I gotta go to work.
Think about how much more. When a ship would use a sail to get across the ocean, and then now a ship uses. What does a ship use now? What does Siemens use?
Bunker oil.
What is it?
Bunker oil.
Oil.
It's one of the nastiest forms of petroleum there is. They call it bunker oil. That's why it's so bad when a ship goes down in the ocean. They don't want its fuel to get out in the ocean. It's not just oil tankers that cause oil spills. Sometimes it's a ship. A large ship can have a pretty nasty oil spill on a beach.
It burns oil. It burns oil for power.
Diesel. They burn it in a diesel engine. A diesel engine will run off of salad
Does the
oil.
exhaust just pop out the back or something? How does it not bother people?
That's what the stacks are.
Okay.
It's real. It's real particulate.
How hard is it to switch over a diesel engine? Like if you wanted to do it off.
In a lot of the diesels that were made for in the 40s and 50s, they were meant to run on whatever they could find to burn. I mean, it was real easy to switch over. The biggest problem with running solid oil in a diesel engine is in the northern climates, the solid oil tends to gel up. Diesel fuel itself, number 2 diesel, starts getting sluggish around 10 degrees, and they start adding additives to it to actually be able to use diesel fuel in the northern states. And in Minnesota, they have to use what's called number 1 all the time. It's just a straight number 1. We down here can use a mix. but across the northern states, they have to burn a fuel that would burn way hot if they burned it in the southern states.
I had this old mechanic that I worked with, and he was like, "Oh, there was already a German diesel engine that can do like 200 miles per gallon, but they bought the patent for it."
A Moody diesel in the 70s actually did get over 100.
You can do fried cooking oil, right? Fried oil too.
Yes, but if you're going to run abnormal oils, you want a really strong engine. And the engines that were made for the military vehicles were made with extra thick walls, so they could just like take banana oil, whatever they could find, and start running those engines. Because when they were going into Europe, they weren't expecting to be able to have a consistent fuel supply. And I believe most of them are probably still made that way.
Yeah, I got a diesel, so that's why I was curious.
Yeah. Now do you have like a Chevy or Ford?
I have a E320 Mercedes diesel.
Oh, that's a little bit better. But it's probably still, I would feel bad telling you that it's okay to put salad oil in your car.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I'd want to do a little research too. But
the people behind you might start getting hungry.
Yeah, that's what I hear. It smells.
But yours, I would say you probably could switch. I have seen people with, I used to go to energy shows, and I've seen people that took their Mercedes and ran off of transethyrized, hard to pronounce, transethyrized vegetable oil. So, I mean, squeezed carrots, you name it, anything from algae to whatever. They get vegetable oil out of it, strain it. I think they add methyl alcohol to it, and it changes it into diesel fuel.
Wow.
And that's why you see a lot of people that are burning French fry oil. That's what the process most of them use. And the hardest step is getting the French fry burnt particles out.
And then I mean, is it easy to get that stuff from? I mean, you'd have to go to fast food restaurants. Or...
Yeah. Fast food places used to have to pay to get rid of it. Now there's getting to be a bit of a market for it because there are so many people doing it. Now, if you're the first one in your community to do it, you might be able to get by with it.
Well, there's not even a
there's like 6 different
restaurant here.
Pollutants that come out of like the automobiles exhaust that are bad for us. I mean, like,
the problem with using vegetable or French fry oil is that it's not going to have enough sulfur to meet federal standards. It just doesn't pollute enough to make the government happy.
Well, I mean, it's probably cheaper too, so that it'll cut into their profit, so they want to make it.
Yeah. The city of Ames used to burn garbage and stuff. They had to shut down their plant because there was a law stating that they had to use low sulfur coal. But since their garbage had no sulfur, they couldn't meet the standards necessary to run instead of low sulfur coal.
So is that the best thing to do with garbage? I mean, burning it is probably.
Yeah. Well, think of it. Recycle. It's repurpose.
Repurpose, yeah. We got like landfills and shit here.
Yeah. But you gotta, or maybe it's reduce, repurpose,
and reuse.
Yeah, and recycle.
Whatever.
So you're coming in there right away. If you're repurposing the waste, you're recovering most of it.
You got a question out there, Snark.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for looking. Yeah, would look like beeswax. What's the only thing? What's the question though?
Look down. There's Kevin's
I mean, rot out the engine fast enough. Yeah, I would not burn solid oil in a General Motors passenger car engine, and possibly not a pickup either. And I'm not really sure if I do it in a Ford. If you had a really good John Deere tractor diesel motor, and that's where I would use it.
Just got rid of mine last week.
General Motors.
My tractor was a joke.
No,
Oh.
you're on crap on this one.
I don't have a tractor.
'Cause fucking
When
accidents
there wasn't enough tractor orders, John Deere Electric Foundry used to make race car
Your
engines
son has
because
a
people
baby
like those
and
blocks so
child
much,
support
because they
at
were
the age of
big
16
iron
or
blocks that
17
could be
years old.
honed out. Yeah,
Then you'll know
big
that
old
your
Briggs is
brother
trying to.
smoking
A
fucking
professional
glass
truck
pipe.
engine is a lot hardier than passenger cars, and they're meant to go many miles, running fuel, and because a diesel engine is kind of tuned for a certain amount of moisture in the
I'm
air,
just
a certain amount of air pressure.
surprised you haven't
And when you
asked
go up
this
into the
question
mountains,
to those
that
parents.
changes, and the engine's not running
This
as
is the
optimal
problem
as
with
it,
a lot of
as it
people.
does. And an engine
They
wants
don't
to
wanna
run
deal
with
the
cool
reality
air,
of fucking how
not
things
cold air,
really
but
are.
cool air, so that it expands and makes the engine, the expanding air pushes the piston away. Because the way the engine really works is the when it burns, it heats up the nitrogen, and the nitrogen expands and pushes the piston away. So if you're starting with really dense cold air, it pushes away harder when it comes up to temperature. It comes up about the same temperature no matter what. So yeah, they were made to.
Well,
Some
not gonna
people
allow
still
it.
have school
So I'm
buses that
gonna
were
take
diesels
action.
and trucks
Because
that
that
were
will
made in the
consent.
40s, 30s, and still running. Some people run generators
Ask
made
the
back then,
question.
and they've been rebuilt enough. A lot of locomotives were made in the 50s and 60s,
If
My
and they
friends
were
have
constant.
1 ton
a
Plymouth.
baby,
Just every once in a while, they have their cylinders taken out and
if
changed out.
she becomes pregnant,
And
what do they want to do?
yeah, Johnny
She has
Poppers,
no say
one
so.
cylinders that just the fairs around here have a competition where people bring out their old one-cylinder farm engines, and they basically would have it's just a motor that's on a stand that has a power takeoff where you put a belt on it, and you could run things like a home dishwasher and all kinds of different things from your little, what they call the Johnny Popper, and you'll hear them going just put,
I will be contacting the
putt,
parents
and they've had this huge flywheel that just kind of slowly goes
before
around.
Sunday.
But they did work back when we didn't have a lot of electric motors and things like that.
Which is again.
I had this relative. I still have this relative I haven't talked to in a long time. He's a music teacher at high school I went to, and he was saying like, the history of composers, throughout history, it's just the way that it worked, because he studied this in a great deal or great detail or whatever. It's like the way it worked was it would just be like this one like style of music, it's one period of music, and then eventually someone would come along like I don't know, Bach or Mozart or Beethoven or whoever it would be. I forgot what who he referenced. I guess he's like somebody would come along though and do something radically differently, and then it would all change. Then everybody would start playing like that, and then that would last for another 100 years or whatever it would be. And I think there are like definitely different ages and different things that define. Like, I mean, we say information age, or we said industrial age, or like in terms of writing and stuff, you have like all the modern and postmodern or different phases of art. But I can't wait until there's like another like South Park It or something or whatever it is that
Oh yeah,
something for the
I want to
future.
make the next. Like, I would like to make something that would be like the next it.
Well, your facts are wrong, and I can prove it. But besides that, I think we're talking about.
But there's got to be something else, right? Is it just going to be the same model like Henry Ford's like thing, like that same carriage, like without the horses, the same thing forever? Like really?
Saying.
And we have bikes. We have what are they called? The thing that's like. I can't never remember the name of it. Thing that like Paul Blart Mall Cop rides, right? You have those.
I don't know what he rides. I don't know that one.
The Segway.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Segway.
I want one of those.
Yeah, they're cool. I know they look awfully lazy, but
they're actually fast. They're actually
why are you redirecting?
I was downtown Chicago.
That's where I saw. That's where I saw. I saw downtown Chicago on the bridge. Some bridge. People zoomed past me.
But I was by the Bean,
no, I'm just asking.
And the police down there have them, so they can zip around the crowds and look at everybody in a hurry.
I just asked a simple question.
And they're just constantly zipping around you with all of these segways. And that was the first place I ever saw them, was at the Bean. The Bean is this great big park that for some reason has a huge stainless steel bean.
That's a good question. What's wrong with that question?
It's the only way I could think of describe it.
No.
Yeah.
It looks like a kiddie bean that's 30 feet long and made out of stainless steel.
Wow.
James, if you can hear, people can hear you out in YouTube land.
No, I'm talking about accidents, Patty. I'm just talking about the accident.
Is he organizing another mob hit?
Did you ask? But you've never asked the most important question.
Can you guys still hear him?
I have mine muted.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't. He mutes the thing on there, but it's you can still hear him talking. He does that a lot.
One day we're gonna hear something we shouldn't.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, my ass was itching real bad the other day. Fucking scratch myself raw. Fucking been shitting out. Fucking."
I just saw something today. Like people spend 10 billion hours or some crap. I don't know what it was. Ungodly amounts of hours in traffic every year.
I do think we'll be seeing another level of vehicle soon that'll be intermodal,
so you can't ask
where you could take one car, drive it home, and drive onto a ferry or drive onto a skate or something to move your car along without you having to drive it.
I saw that model in Colorado. Why? That's just another way to lug around a 2,000-pound thing. That's so silly. That's silly. That's what I was talking about bad designs that get out there and they're like, well, we better not change. We're not doing anything else now. We tried something else. Let's just
another
100 years of Ford and Chevrolet.
You didn't answer the question because would you
frustrated with that. I think there's so many rural areas that you could still use cars, and that's fine. And so many small towns, but there's like cities need work. It's for cities to still be all the same way there's those like freight train and like regular train tracks, right? There was like a little bit of differences, but you could go as far as having the differences in like I'm glad that like the containers are reused and stuff and repurposed, but you can have different like lighter containers for lighter loads or special, like there's got to be there's all kinds of angles that you could go about, having efficiency or like specialized roads or some kind of transportation infrastructure that worked in cities. I mean, Beijing, they have it's like 17 different subway lines that all interlink, and you can go anywhere, and it's still overcrowded. So I don't know if even if you do build something like that, if there's any way to. But in Beijing, I think they have 20 million plus people, so it's a lot of freaking people.
I really like Chicago.
You are saying that you spoke to them, or Taylor.
I was able to.
Okay.
At 50 miles out, I was able to take a metro into downtown Chicago, switch to an L, and It's a nice, quick, convenient way to buzz around town.
I mean, it's like I think it's like they do the
That's
bare
why
minimum
you talk
because
to
probably
the parents.
I know I drove west. I drove on the interstates like
So they
heading out
would
to
do that?
suburbia and west, and that was a nightmare. End of traffic day one time, and like I took the trains from the airport to downtown, you know, back and forth, like downtown. It was okay. It was okay. It was so much slower in San Francisco and in Chicago than it is in China. Like China in rush hour, like every 7 minutes or 5 minutes, there's another train. It's really nice.
Yeah, I think during the daytime in Chicago, there's like a train an hour, and during, the trains going from the suburbs in, one of every hour, and then at nighttime it's one every 2 hours.
But you can drink on the one trains in Chicago.
Yeah, there is a, I can't think what they call it. It's Metro,
Yeah, something. It has its own name.
but they have a name for the car you can drink on.
Link.
Not party car, but it's something like it. Yeah, I think it's only on Fridays.
I don't know what it is there. I just think you can drink. You can just drink.
It's got a bar in it.
Yeah, Jesus.
And
Those are the trains that go up and down the Amtrak. You're thinking of the Amtrak, right?
no,
We're talking about the
Metro.
the Metro. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Chicago has Metra, Amtrak, and L's. And the L's are the fixed track just in the main Chicago. And the close suburbs, the far suburbs are supported through Metra,
Right.
which is like 6 or 7 different lines that are pulled by locomotives. And then Amtrak is like only to far cities.
I told you it was on the Metro, and they have like it's like 2 stories, like a little train.
Oh, they're nice. They're nice. I mean, it's not a luxury vehicle.
Pretty fast.
Oh, it's fast. You're zipping by all the cars that are sitting in the roads like a parking lot, and you're going 60 miles an hour.
Like you said, somebody shut down those windmills. Somebody could shut down that train if they wanted to like scheme some kind of new road project or something.
A good example.
Shut it down to bore underneath Chicago. Who knows?
A good example of a Chicago Metro instead of a Chicago L or an Amtrak is the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal called Source Code. It takes place on the line that I commuted on when I would go in to see my wife at the hospital.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So that's a Metro, and they make pretty good speed. They have a bathroom on them. You know, I don't have a bathroom in my car. So that's a step up right there.
But I mean, that's like the kind of public, even a basic, you know, even relying on the old technology, even relying on existing and regular old technology, those kind of projects, putting all that stuff in, it's like a little bit of excitement, a little bit of hope, a little bit of like, oh, this is nice, you know. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I mean, there's different cities have seen it. I know Fort Lauderdale had a really nice one. St. Louis had some stuff. I don't know. I'm sure there's tons of stuff happening in different places. And yeah, I mean, I guess if it could happen, it can happen that much, but it could happen at a different level, at a different rate in cities to ease the congestion, the pollution, things like that.
I just wish every little town out here had some type of little light rail going between the towns multiple times a day, so somebody could reliably get on one, go to work in another town, and come home at night.
Yeah. And especially in certain cases, and I don't know, if there was more options like that, you know, we'd see so much less drunk driving. People could go to the city centers and do their thing with public transportation more easily.
Oh,
I mean, people would choose that, you know.
sorry, did I talk over Chad? Oh, okay. We're getting ready to shut down, guys.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know where I will be tomorrow. I was surprised that I was able to make it out to Illinois and back today.
Oh, wow.
It's got to be like over an 800-mile drive all the way around.
You're about right.
Kevin, I like you, dude. You should come around more, even if I'm not going to be around.
I've been busy.
Peace, guys. See you.
Buddy,
All right.
love you all.
Well,
Have
let's
a good one.
let James get some sleep.
Okay.
I'll
Thanks
be back
again.
soon.
Greatly appreciate it, guys. Love you all.
Good
Have a
night.
good one.
Good night.
All right. Oh my God. All right. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Sorry. Sir Chad, gotta go, brother. How you doing,
I
man?
just got back inside.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. It's late, bro. I'm sorry. I've been here since like 8:20, so it's been a while.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I'm gonna send you some stuff too about because I got a couple ideas for the whole Green Party thing, whatnot we talked about earlier.
Yeah, we were getting into it tonight in regards to what needs to be done and things we need to do. And oh, by the way, Josh is going to be here next Thursday.
Josh, okay.
Josh Jones is going to be here next Thursday. It's going to be Josh Jones #2. We're going to try to make it quick and efficient so we can use the video to send out to people.
Right.
And if you
Awesome.
can throw in all your questions and stuff real fast, and then he's gonna. I want him before he was telling his stories. You know, this, that, and the other thing. Kind of, I say I'm telling him in this go round. Just if are you for a single payer? Yes, I am. Why? Because da 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 da. Okay, are you for this? Da da da. Why? Da da da. You know what I mean? So if you got some questions, we'll throw it at him beforehand. You know, it's not a Donna Brazil thing, but I want him to be able to use this to, you know what I mean, to show people what he's about and all that stuff.
Like a round robin kind of thing.
Exactly. But quick, efficient. Try to make it as fast and as quick as possible so that he can send it out to people. They don't have to sit there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Hopefully we can get it done in less than a half hour. That'd be optimal.
Right. Make it more.
And then I'll just stay on. I'll just turn off and then do the rest of the show later for everybody.
Gotcha.
Right,
well,
but we're definitely doing the marijuana thing. Ask him if he'll do the marijuana thing. I like that question.
All right. Yeah. I've got a whole like kind of idea of how to put it together. So
send it to me for sure. I'll look at it for sure.
All right.
Look, I just told everybody I was leaving. Everybody just like disappears. Like, okay, thank you. All right. See you, brother. Take care.
Good night.
Night. All right, good questions tonight. It's late. Usually it's about 11, but we had some good stuff coming on. Again, I truly appreciate everybody coming on here. You know, how do I say? It's going to be a lot of work to get the Green Party, in my opinion, to get to where they need to be. But if it makes any sense to know that money is a huge fact, it's resources. When Darlene Elias came on, she's one of the 7 pillars. She's a co-chairperson. That's a high on the totem pole out there for the Green Party. When she was here, she mentioned resources many times, mentioned money little, but that's such a huge factor. And when you have the donations of all these corporatists and these corporations and these giant lobbying bodies for, big pharma, who knows, just tons of money falling into the vats, and the of these other two parties, it's hard for these guys to keep up. So we're actually going to do our best to try to get the message out that clearer, much clearer, break the stigma and the persona that they have, and a lot of other things. And the Green Party is going to do their very best here in California to become the new. It's a business model. I don't know what to say. It's so that the other states can use the same model and add or delete or whatever works for them. But they need to be consistent. They need to be structured, and they need to be paddling in the same direction. Ho, 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 and so they need to be uniform in their message, so that everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody's getting out the right information. Not, like Ben said, like a broken record, but honestly, that's branding. You hear it so many times, you start to not just believe it, but you remember it. And I got to tell you, you're sold something every day. You're sold something every day. I don't care where you do, or where you're at. If you're buying something, you've been sold something. Sorry, that's the way it is. And if you think you're strong or you can't resist it, good luck. It's just part of our culture. We've been like that forever. People have been selling their ideas. People have been selling their products, their services, in exchange for other things for forever. It's the way our species works. And so we're susceptible to branding. We're susceptible to advertising. In the whole marketing aspect of everything. And this is the way we have to excel in certain things and get our foot in the door and hopefully get some people in the House and the Senate that are green. I think it'll make a great difference. Other than that, pitchforks and tiki torches. Anyway, this is Montauk. This is James Young. Thank you all for coming. Steve, sorry I didn't get that link to you. I fucking spaced on that. I was going to send it to a bunch of people. I just had other things going on. I had a call I had to take. And God, I'm doing, if you guys only knew, besides this, what I do and all that I do, I don't think most of you could keep up, man. It's a lot. It's a lot, but I'm a fucking fire plug. I'll tell you that. Aloha, Nui, and hopefully you guys will come back soon. Tomorrow's Friday. I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow. Just depends on how things go. So that's kind of up in the air. Maybe Saturday, probably not Sunday, but Monday is recoup day where if you had a hangover, I might be on New Year's evening, not New Year's Eve, but probably not on New Year's Eve. Yeah, you never know. I don't know. Just I've got people calling and saying, "Hey, come over here, hang out over there." And it's just money. It's just every time I go out somewhere, it's just I just see money falling out of my pockets. I got to do stuff to my truck. I got things I got to pay. I got to make sure transportation's there. I've got stuff, responsibilities, and things I have to take care of. Anyway, thank you all for coming. Biggest thing, just keep moving, keep doing it, keep going, don't stop. We've got a planet to save and an inhabitants, all of it to help. So thank you all very much for coming. Super big aloha to everybody, and mahalo nui aloha to everybody. Bye bye. Take care.